Hey guys, it's me again. I'm sorry I wasn't here the past week because I had something that I can't talk about in this video because I don't have time to. But I'm going to take a new spin on this show. I decided to make it more interesting, particularly for longer videos, because that's what I mainly do, longer videos, not just shorts. So I'm going to retitle this show to Crime Alert, and this sound effect will play at the start of each episode, starting right now. Sorry if you're sensitive to noise, but hey. Today's person we're going to talk about is Alfredo Prieto, who killed 9 people in California and Virginia between 1987 and 1992. It's going to be a long case because I need to make up for lost time because I haven't been here for like a week. So follow me along on this. Right. In 1990, Prieto and his friends Vincent Lopez and Danny Sorian robbed Anthony Rangella in Ontario, California. They then took him hostage and drove him to his house, where he lived with his 33-year-old aunt Emily, her 17-year-old daughter Lisa, and Lisa's friend, 15-year-old Yvette Woodruff. Threatening them with a knife, the trio took their money and keys from the ignition and forced them to sit in the back seat of their car. The trio then drove to the outskirts of the city. Lopez, who had been paroled for other crimes less than a month earlier, asked Prieto and Sorian to let the girls leave, and saying he did not want to return to prison. When they refused, Lopez left himself, saying that he wanted nothing to do with hurting anyone and he was just there to rob people. Lopez was replaced by a friend of Prieto, Ricardo Estrada, who they came across at a gas station. The trio then took the girls to an industrial zone in the eastern outskirts of the city, where they raped each of them at gunpoint. After doing that, Prieto killed Woodruff, while Sorian and Estrada stabbed Emily and Lisa multiple times with a knife. Despite their injuries, Emily and Lisa survived and managed to reach a payphone. They were taken to a hospital where they talked about the incident. The same day, the police found Woodruff's body, and a few days later, the car which the group used and left the crime scene was also found. All 4 men were arrested shortly thereafter. Prieto was convicted of first-degree murder with special circumstances and sentenced to death. Lopez was only persecuted for robbery and kidnapping since he left before the situation took a violent turn. He has since been released from prison. Assuming Lopez is still alive, he is now in his mid to late 60s. Sorian was convicted of first-degree murder with special circumstances and sentenced to life without parole. As of this video, he's 66 years old and serving his sentence at Corcoran State Prison. Estrada was convicted of first-degree murder with special circumstances and also sentenced to life without parole. On appeal, his conviction was reduced and his sentence was lowered to life in prison with possibility of parole. That's bullshit. Estrada became eligible for parole in 2017 after California passed a statute extending youth offender parole eligibility to individuals who committed offenses before they turned 26. He was denied parole at his first hearing, and at his second hearing, he was also denied parole. As of this video, he is now 54 years old and serving his sentence at the California Institution for Men. In 2005, a law was passed obligating all convicts in the state to submit their DNA, resulting in Prieto's DNA being entered into the national database. The following year, DNA and ballistics incidents linked him to 8 other murders, 4 in California and 4 in Virginia. Although Prieto was already on death row, prosecutors in Virginia decided to try him for the 2 murders there, since Virginia was known for having a swift appeals process for death row inmates. Prieto was extradited to Virginia, convicted of 2 counts of capital murder and sentenced to death. On appeal, he won a new trial, but was found guilty and resentenced to death in 2010. Prieto was executed by lethal injection at the Greensville Correctional Center in Virginia on October 1st, 2015, at the age of 49. Virginia law does not permit death row inmates from requesting a special last meal, but they are allowed to select any meal or combination of items from the prison's 28-day cycle menu. Prieto requested a last meal, but asked that its contents not be revealed. His last words were, "I'd like to say thanks all my lawyers and to my supporters and my family members." He then muttered, "Get this over with." Good riddance. His victims were the people he killed in Virginia, who were Rachel Raver and her fiance, Warren Fulton, who were both 22, whom he killed in Reston. Tina Jefferson, who was 24, whom he killed in Arlington. And Manuel Sermeno, who was 27, whom he killed in Prince William, Virginia. Aside from Yvette in California, he killed Stacey Siegrist, who was 19, and her fiance, Anthony Gianuzzi, who was 21. And he also killed Herbert Farley, who was 65, and his wife, Lula, who was 71. So, if you have a headache right now, I don't blame you. This case was very complex with a lot of death and murder. Hopefully I can come up with a more coherent case in the next video that I'm going to make next week. So, hope you enjoyed this slice of crime. Goodbye.